Hello, my name is Ruben Benzel, and I am your Scholars SAT Prep Math course teacher. This is also called the College and Career Readiness course. A little about me. I'm married to Mrs. Benzel, the orchestra teacher at Huron High School, and I have a 4.5-year-old named Alice, and I grew up in Columbus, Ohio. I have a bachelor's in economics from Oberlin College, and this is my 8th year at Huron overall. And I also teach a lot of geometry, and I have a calculus course as well. So why this course? So we no longer have the I-STEP as the College and Career Readiness Assessment in Indiana, and instead we have the SAT. So in April this year, your scholar is going to be able to take the SAT paid for by the state, and that will be kind of used as the school accountability data. And our goal is for your scholar to attain a college-ready SAT score, and also from when they take the PSAT to sophomore year to junior year to the SAT, seeing the significant improvement. And what the SAT on the math section is testing is a lot more than the algebra that is focused on in the majority of high school, but also some practical skills like basic numerical reasoning and problem solving. We recently did a lesson on unit conversions, for instance, or looking at how proportions are used in currency conversion, very practical real life skills. Data analysis. So I think it's increasingly important in the 21st century that our students are data literate. There's also geometric reasoning going on the SAT as well. So what we do in each class is we kind of focus on one SAT skill a day. Now, fortunately, Khan Academy does have it mapped out to about 40 different skills on the SAT, and we're going to just kind of choose one a day. And we begin the lesson with sort of some basic vocabulary and concepts. So even knowing like the vocabulary word on the SAT problem can help your scholar figure out a lot about the problem. Then we look at, non-SAT examples, similar to what your scholar might see in an algebra or geometry class. And we also focus a lot on the basic SAT examples. So just kind of like getting used to the way that a question is asked on the SAT. And we also throw, it's kind of more like a whiteboard discussion in some lessons of the more difficult SAT examples. So on the more difficult ones, those are problems that are harder for a majority of the people taking the SAT. And we talk about what are some of the tips and reasoning tricks that can be used to at least get a good process of elimination on those problems. So I would say to get a college ready score on the SAT, if we could get your scholar knocking out most of the easy problems and making a dent on some of the medium problems, they can get a pretty decent, college ready score on the SAT. All right, so how are we graded in this class? So because this is a college career readiness course, I expect your student to demonstrate college career readiness behaviors as a math student. So what that means is that I'm expecting them to take notes during class, and I'll be checking the next day what their notes are looking like. So they will need to be sure that they are listening to what is going on in class. There's also the filled in notes and a video overview of the lesson as well. And then there's also some time when we do the SAT problems, either through whiteboards or them logging on to Khan Academy. So they need to be able to spend the time and practice on for that. So that's going to be 10 points. And then for the IP that night, they're going to have Delta Math. And the Delta Math assignment just kind of builds their skill. It doesn't expose them to like the SAT style question, but it helps them develop the skill so that they can tackle the SAT questions and get that repetition. And this is an example here of the note-taking rubric. So these are the types of things that we would really like the scholar to see when we're kind of looking at their notes. So the basic litmus test is, can one learn the concept by looking at your students' notes? So they need to make sure they're having both vocabulary and then the steps of the examples as shown in class. And then about every few weeks, we give them a mastery assignment. So that will be done on paper, and they will be graded on the 4-point mastery scale. So they'll have a paper study guide as well to get them used to showing their thinking. And we will have sort of the non-SAT questions as well as some mid-level SAT questions mixed in as well, just so they kind of have the full spectrum of whether they're getting the concepts and whether they're able to apply the concepts. And additionally, your scholar will be choosing one problem of their SAT of their choice and presenting to the class and breaking down the SAT problems. They're not only graded on the correct answer, but thinking about, are they employing the strategies to breaking down the problem as well. All right, getting help. My office hours are Tuesday morning and Thursday afternoon, and you can email me, or your student can email me at rbenzel@huronhighschool.org. And just some signs that your student might need a little bit more help. If they're getting less than 50% of the Delta math problems consistently, if you're asking to see their notes and they're not showing you the notes, or you're suspicious that they're not completing their notes. And then I would say a lack of practice activity on the Delta math as well. So thank you very much for tuning in. And I'm looking forward to getting to work with your student this year and helping them be successful on the SAT. So thank you for listening in, and be safe, healthy, and well.